Hey everybody, it's Lisa Purdy again. I'm here to read Genesis 6 to you today. My hope is that this helps you want to read your Bible on a daily basis and, to kind of invigorate that life that comes with it. The Bible is the living word and it's a way for God to speak to us. And it's amazing. You can read it a million times, it seems like, and every single time you'll learn something new. Sometimes I have thoughts as I read that kind of trigger things. So I would suggest if there's something that is highlighted to you as well that you should consider marking it and looking into it further. That study of things is really great. I'm going to misquote this, but in the Bible somewhere it says that it's the pleasure of kings to seek out the secrets that are there. So and feel free to comment what the actual verse is. My husband's much better at that than I am. But there's a real joy and treasure to be able to seek out what God has hidden in the Bible. So, all right, Genesis 6. When men began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took wives of all they desired and chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not forever dwell and strive with men, for he also is flesh, but his days shall yet be 120 years. So if you remember in the last chapter, we had like 895, 910, okay? So now this is the point where God says, okay, 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God lived with the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. They were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of men was great on the earth, and that every imagination and intention of all human thinking was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved at heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy, blot out, and wipe away mankind, whom I have created from the face of the ground, not only men, but the beasts and the creeping things and the birds of the air, for it grieves me and makes me regretful that I have made them. But Noah found grace or favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the history of the generations of Noah. Noah was a just and righteous man, blameless in his evil generation. Noah walked in habitual fellowship with God. And Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was depraved and putrid in God's sight, and the land was filled with violence, so desecration, infringement, outrage, assault, and lust for power. And God looked upon the world, and he saw how degenerate and debased and vicious it was for all humanity, and corrupted their way upon the earth and lost their true direction. God said to Noah, I intend to make an end of all flesh, for through men the land is filled with violence, and behold, I will destroy them and the land. Make yourself an ark of gopher or cypress wood. Make in it rooms, so stalls, pens, coops, nests, cages, and compartments, and cover it inside and out with pitch, so bitumen, apparently. And this is the way you are to make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. So that is 450 feet by 75 feet by 45 feet. You shall make a roof or window, so place for light, for the ark, and finish it to a cubit, so at least 18 inches above the door of the ark, that you shall put in the side of it, and you shall make it with lower, second, and third stories. For behold, I, even I, will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy, make putrid all flesh under the heavens, in which are the breath and spirit of life. Everything that is on the land shall die. But I will establish my covenant, so promise or pledge with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives, and you with you. And of every living thing of all flesh, so found on the land, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark. To keep them alive with you, they shall be male and female. Of fowls and birds according to their kinds, of beasts according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. 2 of every sort shall come in with you, and they may be kept alive. Also, take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and you shall collect and store it up, and it shall serve as the food for you and for them. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. So, a couple of things. First of all, this is the Amplified, the Classic Amplified Bible. It's a little older. I think it was printed in like 70s or 80s maybe. And I like that it tells you that the ark was to be 450 feet by 75 by 45, because that helps me sort of like visualize how big this thing is. Also, there's a place out in Ohio that talks about or shows you the ark, and it's you can walk through it and see like a replica of it, and they show you how this stuff would have worked. I like the 18 inches from the top. I'm in healthcare, and we have to keep our things 18 inches from the ceiling, so I think it's funny that continued in something else. But I think you see the heart of God wanting to, the grace and favor that he saw in Noah. He didn't destroy Noah. He saved him and his family. And you see that throughout the Bible, where God, despite evil that's happening, he still has a love for mankind. And so that's interesting. I think that was kind of it for this one. I do like the fact that he mentions that the way that they stay alive is male and female. There's a lot of people out there who think it's okay to believe differently, but even in animals, that is how they survive, is by that coupling of the pair, male and female. And so, this is just the beginning of how God had intended things to be. And that's a powerful thing as well. He also tells them to take on all the food, which is interesting because even now we have to save our food certain ways, and we have preservatives and different ways that we do that. But I can't imagine back then what that looked like for him to be able to save his food. I probably need to go back to that museum that's in Ohio to see what they did, because I can't remember what all their preservation methods were, but it would have been pretty cool to see that and to think about how much food and they would need. I mean, the wild cats and elephants or whatever he had on there, like he would have to know what they could eat. So anyway, very interesting. Genesis is a lot of fun to read through, so keep joining me, and I will talk to you next time.